that Tahm Kench.
Do they go for things like the Trundle here into the Sejuani and then just basically run back the Rogue comp in a similar vein of the Maokai, the Trundle, having something like a Victor as well to fill the role of things like the carries? Is that something you think EG would run?
I think it is. The only concern is just that, are they going to be...
Jojo set.
It is set mid, baby. Now I think we're going to have a higher damage jungler. I don't think we're actually going to get the Trundle anymore. It's possible they go towards Trundle, but I think you're too low DPS. You need AP from jungle for sure here with set, so...
I feel like they really need AP damage in the jungle right now. Unless Kaori goes some kind of AP Varus build, it must be... Inspired Nidalee up against G2. Now, Jankos has that option of counterpicking this, going for something like the Lee Sin if he wants with more dueling potential, or just taking the bullets, playing the Sejuani and giving the counterpick to Broken Blade.
Man, you gotta give it to EG. They don't lack for confidence here. You know, going in with the set mid, there was a massive game from Jojo in play and looked really, really good. It's Fiora, though, another melee topside. You know, AD melee champions, we were talking about it earlier on. I think triple melee topside, when you do have that Sejuani, is so strong for your skirmishes in 2v2s, for your 3v3s around Herald even. You know, even though Nidalee is really well known for her early game power, it's so tough when you're fighting against Sejuani plus a melee in a lot of these skirmishes.
Let's just look at these comps because we have 8 melee champions right now. The only ranged ones, well, also 7, and Nidalee will go in a little bit in melee form when she dashes forwards, but it's only the AD carries that are going to play on range here. Fiora, Sejuani, Sylas Rel into a set Maokai, Tahm Kench. There's going to be so much fighting. It's going to be so scrappy. It's just a case of finding the right targets.
Well, and honestly, like, I just worry for EG, you know, if there is that threat, which it feels like there's a lot of dive here and AoE CC potentially coming through from G2. If you can even just pressure Varus, even if Tahm Kench is there to save him, they don't really have a lot of damage there remaining, right? But set ults can be massive here when it is those 4 melee champions. If they're all getting clumped up, if you can hit multiple people with the Haymaker, multiple people with that Showstopper, it can be really bad. I wish League of Legends was real life. All right, let's go. He's having fun.
What would Mojo in there as well? What would League of Legends look like in real life? All these spells, TPing around, dashing, blinking, invisible gun.
You're just getting your ass beat all day. You're just fighting to the death.
I'm just looking at the game right now, looking in all chat. Jojo Pune is taunting Caps. He's writing Caps, Sylas, oh my god. Oh my god. So this will be a banger game. The set, of course, is something we see into things like the Akali, the Sylas, the Galio, melee AP champions, where he can just pull them into his Haymaker and just look for the damage.
Well, and one of the things that I always love is when I'm playing a Goredrinker champion and I look across the rift and there's 3+ melee. When you have 3+ melee, Goredrinker always seems like you have insane value with the heal there. And when we're playing against a 4 melee comp, if you can get in the mix there, get a good ult with everyone stacked up, clap them together, get the big W off, you know, get that huge value from the Goredrinker, it can be pretty powerful. But I do think if EG fall behind it all, they are going to be so light on damage, especially if bot lane does poorly here. I think this comp is a disaster.
Could be. They need to get ahead, and EG doing a 4-man point in that brush with Jojo baiting it. JDG did the exact same thing yesterday against EG and got first blood. Maybe they were trying to find a way for G2 to walk in and punish. G2 don't fall for the bait. They're just going to drop a ward there, EG, on their entrance. And I think the biggest problem that G2 have in the early game is the Nidalee. The clear speed is just so much faster than Jankos. Jankos needs to keep track of a jungler that's just faster pace and can invade a lot easier with these lanes earlier on.
Well, we're going to have to see what he can get done, because it feels like it would be a look towards topside, unless maybe Blackhead and Targamas are way overpushed. But it feels like you want to play heavily here, you know, with the set. Jojo starting E, very standard in these melee matchups. Get the clap in, hit him with the 1-2, hit him with the thumbs up. Oh, he's doing sit-ups!
You gotta love Jojo Pune. Even as an EU representative, EU fan, I'm a huge fan of Jojo Pune. So much confidence in such a young player. He's gonna pull Caps back again, so some nice early trades coming out here from Jojo, and I have to say big props to the players that use emotes to taunt and, you know, the in-game character emotes just to have a little bit of fun during these trades.
He's denied all the CS so far. Caps actually not... There we go. Gets his first bit of gold in the lane. Caps on the board. The defenseless, helpless minion gets cut down. Has a quick fight in the bot side. First wave in, and Targamas W's back out for the shield.
So yeah, G2 mid and bot losing the push right now. Broken Blade will need a few more levels before he can start a really hard contesting impact. He's gonna have the grass procs and the vitals, but again, level 2 first. These lanes for EG going very good in the early stages. You talked about it, Azale, having to snowball this early game. Nidalee, of course, just finished her topside. Camp's gonna move it.
He's done. Oh, he might just die. I mean, 200 health left. He's gonna keep waiting for grass proc, but the same will happen through for Fiora. New vital coming up soon. Passive comes across, cues him out of the queue. He had to get that timing right.
But the wave is screwed. He needs help here, and Nidalee clearing from top to bot, so there's no help here in sight to actually reset this wave. How close is Impact to 3? He's a couple minions off. He really wants to get 3 for the level up, but Broken Blade could look.
So Impact had a cookie there that helped him out so much in getting a little bit of mana. Does have a little bit of regen coming in now as well, so he can trade back with this level 3 advantage. I think the second Broken Blade dings over to 3. He will start to look for those vital procs when they arrive. Jankos now pathing back towards his top side to help out Broken Blade, and he's not spotted. Crucially, with this wave pushing out, Impact could be in trouble.
Yeah, with the next wave coming in, there's no way he actually gets this reset before Sejuani gets top. I think Impact is going to be dead unless he backs it up right now.
No, we didn't
He's
know.
got no ward. He's dead.
Yeah, that's the bot. He won't find the first stun, but here we've got the 2v1. So Impact, how do you live? You know Jankos Q is going to land, and actually, he's dropping the farm in the meantime. Try to deny some as well. Flashes. Stun's still going to land. First blood through for Jankos.
I have to say props to Jankos for backtracking up there. That's the thing with jungle, identifying lanes and making sure you're there in time. Impact had a bad wave. He could have called Inspired and said, hey, I need help, but Inspired was full clearing towards bot, and Jankos just gave up camps to do that. We'll see what Inspired can get done, though, because he's now walking into Jankos' jungle, ignoring the crab and taking away the Krugs. Then Nidalee needs to prioritize farming over covering.
Absolutely, and at the end of the day, that is Impact dying even with the flash there. The only small silver lining is that Sejuani got the kill, and the wave did get reset during that, so the wave will slow push out towards him, but Inspired gonna have to be careful here, pay some respect over. The buy, of course, for Fiora, much better. When you're laning against these early Sheen buys from that Fiora with the grass procs, it's so frustrating to deal with. Just the Q poke that is going to come out here from the Fiora in these matchups makes it very, very difficult. And if you get behind as a tank into Fiora, it feels really hopeless.
Yeah, so much % HP damage and true damage coming out of the Fiora, so it's really hard for the tank to deal with. Wave in a good state there for Broken Blade. There was a lot of trading bot lane all the meanwhile, and G2 with the longsword 3 potions just trying to sustain every time the camera pans down here. It's EG the ones stepping up. I think this kill on top lane helps Jankos out a lot in this jungle matchup. You know, the Nidalee exponentially gets quicker and quicker in the clearing, and just gets harder and harder for the Sejuani, but Abami's on the first base will help Jankos out a little bit, just clearing through his second spawn right now, as Inspired has already taken that base, but Jankos has not.
No, first buys are in, as he's going to start his recall before too long. Maybe the Gromp will go down, and bottom Scuttle G's still up as well, it looks like. Looks like Kaori and Vulcan never try to get the sidestep over to it. Impact now going to farm under his turret. He's going to be acclaimed, no problem. Targamas takes a bit of poke, not going to matter. Jankos is going to be safe to knock down the Scuttle Crab, and that is a double crab here for G2. Cloud9 fans, avert your eyes.
He's not even playing, you gotta do him like that. Yeah, Inspired's gonna walk in here and realize that this is gone. He's got double crabbed, but he managed to take away the Krugs. Not a huge camp lead yet for the Nidalee, so Inspired really needs to get this ball rolling. He has mid-push. Jojo's doing a fantastic job in this lane with the small CS lead, and Jankos could be in trouble. We'll get the Grump. Vulcan's on the way. Targamas can jump over.
3v2 possibility. Dives in, and Jankos, he's gonna be okay. Actually, still held his flash when he getting top, so a little bit of poke doesn't really matter. Recall will come through safely.
Yeah, and maybe an option to start up the Dragon here for the Nidalee. Like, you need to snowball. You need to put pressure on G2 to contest you while you are still in the advantage as this Nidalee. So he will start the Dragon. That should be his relatively uncontested, I do assume. Though Caps is cheating down to at least get a little bit of vision on the area. But it should be too late for G2 to really have any sort of an option here. So first Dragon will go over to EG.
Yeah, pretty easy for them. No real contest from G2. And you look at the gold right now, it's 200 gold lead to EG. Despite G2 getting that first blood, that's coming from mid and bot CS. Cap's gonna dash away from the true damage, has the ultimate, but doesn't decide to commit. Support and jungle right behind him.
Yeah, 3 men here. I think he's hoping that Jojo will go aggressive on him, and Jojo definitely does have the propensity to do just that. Jankos waiting on this side. Targamas has been here for quite some time. Jojo paying respect to, though, the fact that we have not seen Targamas for quite some time, but he's not playing to the side of the map.
Flash stun comes in, a flashback to safety. Stun, puts up the shield, wants straight over the tower, but does not get the angle correct. The sidestep from Jankos guarantees no safety. 2 on the board for G2.
Pretty clean insect there from Caps. It looked pretty easy for them to just put the Jojo pin on top of the support jungle. Despite his flash, they managed to use the CC layer. I wonder if Jojo could have ulted someone instead of flashing initially and then flashed afterwards. We'll have to look at the positioning of the champions.
Yeah, it's very difficult. You know, maybe I would have tried to been able to find that angle. As he lands, it's hard. Maybe he could have tried to, get an ulti onto Jankos and then flash back towards the tower, but G2 wasn't really giving him any sort of an easy angle there. Good setup from Caps. But the jungle and support making all the difference in that 1v1. And this is a matchup that Silas is going to outscale very, very heavily. So Set needs to be playing with that advantage. And he was in the 1v1 until that point. But now things looking better and better for G2 here.
Yeah, Kill's going to pay for that CS lead pretty reliably here. as a wave of the bot side is going to be claimable. No, Careless did not get the gold, so there's around 68 gold lost.
Caps no flash though, so EG's mid jungle should be able to pressure the Danish mid laner out of this lane a little bit more, because you do have so much setup. And, you know, the Maokai in the set, this top side of EG has enough setup for the Nidalee to find the kills, but right now they're going to contest this blue buff. All of Jankos' camps are up here. He is level 6. I wonder if G2 are going to collapse on this when they get the information that he's there. Jojo stepping up, lets Jankos know that they're on his blue. How does G2 dissect this play? They could look for an engage, but Inspired has the flash, so good play there from EG to get the blue and get out.
Yeah, nice little bit of aggression, but it just hasn't felt like the Nidalee has really paid dividends. He's not playing that aggressively, you know, as far as looking for actual ganks. He's playing pretty heavily for the farm, but he's only up really one camp, or camp and a half, I guess I should say. So things looking really, really good for G2. It is farm advantages, you know, in mid and bot and jungle, but they're slight. And the couple kills going over to G2 more than even it out. And the compositional advantages as you get later, I think, are going to be feeling really good for G2.
Caps dodges all the wards, can steal Varus ult and probably seal the Doom. Vulcan not level 6, that would have been crucial. Yan goes over the wall, spotted, flash into safety, flash gets out, but they're going to catch Vulcan. Will it be enough damage though? The root not going to be enough. Flashes forced though EG down both those summoners.
Not enough gap close there from G2 to kill the Tom Kench, but they both have no flash. Kaori has the heal. Jankos has the ult though, no level 6. Like you said, Freak on the Tom Kench.
He's gonna go in for a big stun to start this one out. They're gonna find a whole lot here. There's the CC chain, and they're gonna get all of it. Vulcan gets the shield, it won't matter. 2 for nothing in the bot side. Flacket gets the kill.
Good ult there from Jankos. He stunned Kaori and then ulted Vulcan instead to interrupt the W to escape. Jojo Pyum will get a lot of plates. Inspired will get Herald. Yes, G2 get 2 kills and they even up this bot deficit, but they're gonna lose a lot on this top side. We'll see how much Flacket can get in plates. He has good guns to shred through this tower.
Honestly, G2 gets so much more from that. I mean, Flacket, you know, that was kind of the last losing lane for G2. You know, he was behind, but it has been the team play really making the difference here for G2. Some of the individual lanes were going well for EG, but it's, you know, the mid support, you know, moving around together. Jungle support go mid, they get a kill there. Then jungle mid go towards bot. They're just spreading the advantage around the map here. It's just really good team play from EG.
We see it again here, no flash on both, and then Jankos uses the E stun here and the ult over to the side to make sure they can lock both down on the minimap. You can see a lot of pressure top side from EG. How can they use this Herald? Where do they place it? I mean, with that mid tower being so low, they could Herald that mid tier one and get it taken down. Caps enjoying himself right now. G2, of course, have really good kind of team synergy behind the scenes when it comes to joking around, always making fun of each other. So after this early game lead, should make them pretty happy with Caps sitting on 2 kills. But like I said, that mid tower really low. I feel like EG have a very clear play here. Just get their bot push, go towards mid, herald this tower, and play for the next dragon.
Yeah, the gold lead is functionally tied. If that crashes, then you get the local gold from the plates, from the first turret going down, everything else. It's probably going to get rid of a ward. Maybe a redive here on the bot side, but Targum is with the ulti. Flacket has all summoners. Not a likely fight to be had. Jojikin walking over, spotted by a ward, can't kill it himself. Just knows he's on vision.
I mean, with them that healthy and Targamas level 6, I just think there's no way that dive goes well at all, especially with Jankos and Caps now moving down to actually cover. They're going to drop Herald bot, so they really want to get Kaori ahead.
Yep.
You know, this is that situation where we're talking about the Varus. The Varus is your damage. Varus needs to be doing well. And after that last play down towards bot, lost flashes, end up both dying because that roam, you know, the advantage was really erased that EG had on that bottom side. So gonna drop the Herald there, trying to get some more gold here in the pocket of Kaori.
Yeah, I think it makes sense because the set innately just becomes more of a supportive champion the later this game goes on. He's just there to buy time for the Varus, so the Varus needs a lot of gold, needs a lot of items. Do they transition this into a Drake though? It just spawned. Inspired's gonna start it up. Caps is hovering to this top side and looking to take a base. No unleashed teleports. G2 could try to stall this. I think Caps is calling that he wants to base for his mythic here and TP back, so the longer this goes on, I think the more willing G2 will be to contest. 5k HP, Inspired jumps out. Yeah, looks like they're just gonna drop it.
I mean, it's just dying way too slow. And with no flash on Kaori or Vulcan,
I
mean,
he's gonna land. Tom Kench, he can put up a shield, but will it even matter? It, of course, does not. Flacket on the board for a second. 5-0 G2, nearly matching the game score.
I mean, after they actually bail out on that initial play, nice parry. Now he's going to turn around for the engage.
Fourth Vital landed. Does have flash, but not going to be range for the rest of the kill. So ulti down, Impact lives, but can he regen and stay in the lane? Broken Blade's out of mana.
Yeah, EG just didn't bail out quick enough. As soon as Inspire goes over the wall, you've got to get out of there immediately as the EG bot lane. You know the Caps is TPing down towards that bottom side, but Vulcan a little bit slow to exit there, and G2 do punish. They're getting so much more out of these early stages. You know, Nidalee, 12 minutes in, you're up 3 camps, down 0-0-0, 1 dragon is your advantage. It has not been worth it, or even close to worth it, for this pick so far for EG.
Yeah, that's the question. Where's Inspired this game? The only real plays made in terms of team play or teaming up with his laners. He's taking away that blue buff. Flash in on mid though.
Flash stun, but he doesn't get the ulti off because I think Caps landed his stun from... No, I don't even know how he didn't get behind him. Caps, no Merc Treads, just didn't walk behind in time to land the ulti to get the kill.
No boots on Jojo either, so it makes it a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
It looks like EG will get this bot tower. Flackhead can clear out the wave though. No plates falling off just yet. Jankos might be in trouble.
There's a fight. Is it enough? Inspired, not in range for the damage, though he hops and get anyone. Of course, this Drake is still up. The wards have been killed. Bot lane pressure pretty much retained here by Varus. Can shove the wave in, and Flackhead always has to answer or he loses the tower.
I think EG's play is stacking Drakes right now. They're just finding it pretty hard to start it up because G2 are constantly getting mid push or bot push, either one. And no matter where EG commit numbers, G2 are getting pushed on the opposite side. And now they have this awkward situation where they're on the river. Flackhead will push out bot now and rejoin his team. EG have a lot of pressure right now, though. They could look for this dragon window.
Well, I think that's why they were trying to go through mid, right? You know, flash on Caps, try to get a kill on Caps, then move over towards that dragon. But as soon as that fails again, they are once more on the back foot. Kauri, though, does have the Mythic here completed, and at a certain point, EG will have to force. It's not okay to just play slowly with this style of composition. They're not going to have any threats in the later stages.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised Vulcan took that base. They basically owned the river and pushed Caps out a little bit and chunked him down. And now Flackhead's going to get plates for it because their bot lane took a base. I mean, they will have a little bit more tempo,
First
but
tower.
it's a mythic match right now, and G2 get a first tower bot, so all of a sudden it's Aphelios 2-0-0, 1,000 gold up on the Varus, and no dragon for EG. We'll see if they can find that proactivity that they so dearly need, as Vulcan going to sweep away some wards from G2. Jojo's coming on a base, has the Unleashed Teleport. Does G2 start this dragon up?
I mean, they're going to start it. I feel like this game has completely fallen out of control of EG. You know, this is all G2 now. The gold lead may be relatively close, but the game state is not whatsoever. This is G2 running away with this game in a landslide.
In isolation, it's just Broken Blade versus Impact, right? No one's really visited top lane, barring that level 3 gank from Jankos, and ever since now the Sunder is completed, it's just going to get harder and harder for the Maokai, really. So I feel like EG, time's running out, but Impact is such a good form of engage that maybe they need to bring him into the equation and try to force these fights while the Fiora is trying to split push.
Unleashed TP finally here. The cooldown's going to be back up in around 3 minutes or so. Big Raptor take, and Jankos going to find a stun pretty soon. Wants the auto attack. Won't get it. Won't throw the ulti out either, as his team is nearby, but so is EG's bottom lane. Back to the mid lane they go. That plus 610 already went to Flackhead. He is huge. On his way toward Lord Dominus to cut down the Maokai. Gonna build for the single target. Gonna build for the tank busting when he can. Probably wait till 3 items, so he's really a huge threat, but he's on the way.
Yeah, no, I think it's relatively smart build here against the set, against the Maokai. You know, going to be in a pretty good position. Mythic now finally completed there for Inspired, but 15-minute Mythic completion for the Nidalee, not very threatening. I do think EG have got to force and have kind of got to force now. You know, they have their Mythics pretty much across the board. It's only Impact that doesn't have his, but of course, now he's going to complete it. This is their window, and I feel like this is kind of almost their last window. It feels funny to say 15 minutes in, but you've got to get something done before G2 starts hitting 2 items, or this game is toast.
I don't know about you, but this just reminds me of the C9 Fnatic game where they're just on a timer to force something. Maybe this is some kind of meta that NA's been developing in scrims where it's actually been working in scrims where the games are a lot more faster paced and bloody and you can get these advantages, whereas on stage it's just a lot slower paced and the game's not as messy. But yeah, their windows are running out. Dragon's up in 3 minutes. Herald to spawn, though. That's something that they can use to help snowball this game and get that mid lane tier 1. But G2 right now holding the mid push. And G2 are happy the slower this game goes down. I mean, they've got a Sejuani for engage. The Fiora will win out on the side lane. The Aphelios is ahead of the Varus, and they're the ones who are going to start this Herald up. I wonder if EG drop it or Jojo can TP in here and look for the 5v5.
I think that could block down. They're doing it on top of Scuttle Crab, and they're going to get some poke coming through. Javelins, spears, all looking pretty decent. Cap's gonna take a bit of damage, walk back out. Now on to the second Rift Herald of the game. EG mentioned they're on a timer. This is a fight they can actually take. Eye opens up yet again. Gets closer to smite range, nearly resetting the aggro, but not quite yet. Inspired keep the damage coming across, still poking towards Jankos at half HP. They stun the front line. Is that the fight they want? And so Vulcan brings it to safety, and it's 1 for nothing. Jankos is down. Stun comes across. Targamas has to get out. Huge damage out of Aphelios, though. And the gold leader Flackhead means so much. Caps dives in, finds another. Dives away now for Vulcan. The flash over the wall. Will he find the kill? The shield is not going to hold up. It's 8-1.
G2 wipe EG from the map, and they are not done yet. Caps on the wraparound here, looking for even more against Inspired and Impact.
May not find it. Looks for the stun, doesn't land it there. The poke's still coming through. Targamas around. I don't know if he has what it takes to finish his kill. Dives on in, could be stunned. Heal comes through, Javelin. This one sidestepped. Everyone's out.
Very messy fight, and we can see so many melee champs in the game. It's just a bloodbath in the center of it, but it's Flakkit dishing out a lot of damage with the blue gun, in front of him, just doing so much work in the front line. I think the reason it's so good for EG at the start is because Jankos uses his ult onto Jojo, and then Jojo gets this big W in a second when he comes out to zone the rest of G2 away on top of the Maokai ult, but then the turn was just fantastic.
Absolutely, and critically, it means there's no Devour here for Kauri. Caps actually tagged him, I think, there with the stolen Varus ult, and then just alley-oop to himself there, hits him with the chains, locks him down. Vulcan can do nothing to peel because he had to spend the ulti there on set, and as soon as Kauri goes down, he knows that there's no shot for them in that fight.
Frustration there. Unsure how they can get some damage out, but EG will get this mid-tier 1. They picked up the Herald as well. Inspired is slowly getting a little bit ahead of Jankos, has the Night Harvester complete and is up a level. Need a lot more than that though, so
yeah,
maybe this Herald's gonna go on that top tier 1 or maybe a tier 2 on a side lane if there's some kind of cross-map shenanigans going on. TP back top here from Impact to catch the wave, and the game will slow down a little bit for the next 30 seconds as the Dragon will spawn.
It's the classic Caps there, buying the Mage Eyes already, feeling confident here. 10 stacks in the book, 4-0-2. Caps from ahead. I've seen this game before on Silas.
Oh, did it just spotted him there, I think. Did it?
I don't know. Either way, the ulti is on. Yanko's coming around as well. There should be a stun. It means what he can, but now it's going to be that first stun. In the second stun, into the last vital being popped. Will he tank it at this point, though? Next cooldown's coming relatively soon. Lands a Q. W, auto, heals up. Under the tower they go, and Broken Blade finds his kill. In the mid lane, it's on the Vulcan. Cap's going to get his next one. A bit low, though. Kauri does not get the rest of the damage needed and can't go back for any more. Auto still coming through. Flakkit gets whatever he wants, set up by his lane mate. And a killing spree for the Ophelio.
G2 winning out top, they're winning out mid as well. Flakkit had so many chakrams. I don't think Inspired could jump in there as much as he wants to take the Magi stacks off of Caps and try to turn the fight. He would die if he jumped in. G2 get the kills in mid, the kill in top, and they're going to get the Dragon too.
There's the tower. Sejuani contests the red buff. Not sure who got it, but ultimately doesn't matter too much because the Drake is going over. G2 going to have their second Drake of the game. 11-1 now the kill score, picking up where they left off at MSI. No games have been close. They have crushed EG all year.
Yeah, it's another stomp it's looking like here, and we can see, did he actually spot him at all? Oh, he did.
He did for a frame there.
But I guess he just wasn't that worried, wanted to get the last little bit of farm, but Sejuani comes in.
I think he saw his HP bar and probably assumed he was about to recall or something, so he just wants to crash the wave. Maybe Impact even thought in a 2v1 he had enough to live. He almost made his way out, but then Broken Mid and Jankos managed to find that kill. All the meanwhile, there was a fight happening in mid, so Targamas just jumped in with the Hex Flash and the ult, pulls them all in with the Magnet Storm. Caps gets the initial kill, dodges out on his Varus Q, I believe. No, it hits actually. Inspired wants to jump in, but he knows if he does, Flakkit will just melt straight through.
Yeah, just no real way through, and you can see how powerful the AoE engage there of the Rel is when you're playing up against that Tahm Kench. Find the Tahm Kench. Grey Health is not going to save you because you can actually crack that with the Q on Rel, so well played there by Targamas. It was a good draft. Now we're going to try to find Broken Blade here. Good parry.
Post into the ulti and getting away. Beautiful. Broken Blade just honestly guess his mind reads the timing on the stun and gets it right.
Yeah, let's not forget this group. Very, very tough on Damwon, JDG, the other teams. If anyone wants to stand a chance from EUNA to get out of this group, they have to beat the opposition in a 2-0 to actually have a chance against the other two top teams.
Well, and it's so heartbreaking for EG, you know, coming off of a game yesterday against JDG where I know they felt they should have won. They felt that was a game that would have been theirs. To lose that one in such close fashion against one of the world's best teams, against one of the big tournament favorites there, and then coming in here against G2. And Gold still relatively close, but the game feels completely out of control here for EG. It will take a miracle for them, I think, to pull back into this one.
Yeah, they need some overextension from G2, and they need to get Caps down and get those stacks off. G2 are baiting Baron right now, but they don't have the quickest Nash. Not so much damage from champs like the Sylas. But G2 probably looking at the next Drake in 3 minutes, get on that soul point, look for this mid-tier 1 there. Those are the objectives. EG on the other side just finished second item onto Kaori. Maybe I'll look for a defense. There's the stolen Maokai ult to allow G2 to walk forwards and take the tower. But EG need to look for skirmishes soon.
Dinner 2 in turrets. 4,000 gold lead here as well.
The rough part about games like this, though, is you know you need to fight early because your team is getting outscaled. But you've already been outscaled. Like, there's no fight looks good because you don't win any of them. So it becomes very, very difficult, right? And I think EG is kind of caught in this loop where they're hoping, well, we need to have an odd number fight, or we need to catch someone out in sides, or we need to wait for a G2 mistake. But G2 is not giving it to them. And time in this game is quickly running out for EG. You know, they already have been outscaled, I feel. Second items are already complete for a number of the players on G2. This next dragon may be the last dance here for EG.
EG just need to group up, get mid-waves in, put a little bit of vision in this topside river, get some pinks down, and hope that G2 walk into them and they can pounce while Broken Blade's in base or he's late on the arrival with the TP. So a little bit of setup right now, but that one ward on the Baron will give G2 all the information that they need. They'll be very cautious in this phase check because, of course, they're not on this Baron. They're just going to try and push and flush EG out of this topside river. And I think for G2, it's just a clear game plan. Keep Broken Blade on the side lane, wait for Drakes. It's on EG to start the fight.
Absolutely, and I mean, Flathead looks like he's going towards a BT third, so just trying to play it safe here, make sure he can't be poked out at all by the Varus and the Nidalee. I think is intelligent in this game. And G2 don't need to do anything except what they are already doing. Only take fights when you know where EG is. Only take fights when you have the vision advantage because they are scaling comfortably into the later stages of the game here and have been maintaining the objective control for the last quite a few minutes.
Really nice ward there, actually, across the wall, not getting spotted by the pink. Just gives EG all the information they need as to when they'll start it up. And Targamas just used the sweeper, so that'll stay there for a very long while. But EG need to use that information. Look for a pick. They found Caps.
Yeah, bit of a fight towards the top side. Will it be enough? The question, when can he find the ult? He's already stolen one from Maokai, so he doesn't have that one yet again. TP's coming in to start reinforcing. Caps gonna flash, gets the re-Maokai ult. Jojupen caught out, but for how long? Puts it across, gets stunned, should still have the shield. Gordinger for a second. Shut that into Caps, gets rid of the Magi stacks. Jojo staying alive, he flashes, gets up towards Tom Catch. This needs to be the fight that EG wins, but Targamas is too tanky, and Broken Blade finds the kill. It's 2-1 so far. Impact left alone with his own kind, cut down, turned into mulch, and it's G2 taking everything.
Caps falls, but Flacket and Broken Blade stand strong. The next carry's in line when he does die there. Loses the Magi stacks, but now it looks like G2 want to start up this Baron. 10 seconds on Caps' respawn. He can TP in. It's uninspired and Kaori. They have a little bit of poke to work with. Targamas a little bit scared right now to walk up. Initial spear is going to miss. Can Inspire get into this pit. Where's Caps going to TP? Oh,
EG
big spear.
in the Baron pit. Is it enough? EG the Baron pit. Inspire dives in and he goes down far too early. Baron is claimed. Inspire drops and G2 are slaughtering.
15-2, 6,000 gold lead here for G2. They are crushing EG in this game. And EG do look for the pick here onto Caps, and they do eventually find it, but they just have so little damage. It takes them so long that G2 has easily responded in time, and JoJo's getting beat down on the side.
Both mid laners kind of struggling in their skirmishes. Caps falls initially, so it's a 5v4, but Kaori arrives a little bit late, and look at this ult from Flacket. Gets so many shurikens so he can dish out damage on the Aphelios, and then Broken Blade can start to step forward and kill the backline of EG. His impact goes a little bit too far forwards. Kaori really can't hit in this fight. The second he steps up, he's just going to get engaged on as well. And it's the meat grinder of Flacket. And now it's a Dragon started up by G2. That'll be easy to secure. That puts them on the Ocean Soul point. With the Baron, they're going to start sieging down these tier 2s.
Now, EG may have already eclipsed their timer, but it's going to get even shorter here as we're up for a 30-minute Ocean Soul, and G2 absolutely crushing in this game. Looking at a maybe 30-minute win, to be honest. Caps looking for someone in the brush, not going to be there, but soon Jojupen in a 1v4. Nikos will not take the engage, with Merc Treads set as not an easy target. Mid lane under fire. Broken Blade can always riposte the ulti. Doesn't have to care about that too much.
Interesting that G2 are playing a 1-4 rather than having 4-man mid. I guess it just covers off flanks a lot easier because they can only come from your top side. So Impact's now collapsing down, but they can see him coming through this red side jungle. Broken Blade just spotted him out, so how defensive do they want to play this? Broken Blade doesn't have the TP, but it looks like they're confident enough to step up. As Kaori goes back towards base, that means Broken Blade can take this mid tier 2. Impact spotted. G2 waiting for the next cannon wave.
Caps takes Devour. Even if you wanted to find an engage, it's not going to happen for much. Broken Blade happy to keep hitting up against Maokai here, but wants to pull in for a Jojupen. Will it be enough damage to kill Fiora? It's going to be tough. Pops the ulti, gets some move speed, gets some healing, hits 2 vitals already. And now Impact will run away. At least trace down the ulti, but bottom inhibitor turret has dropped. 1 minute left. 3,000 gold to the Red Bull Baron power play. Inhibitor now gone as well.
G2 going to move towards mid. Another cannon wave coming in. They don't have that Fiora ult, but maybe they're confident enough to step up. A massive damage there from Broken Blade to Jojo, and he gets engaged on.
First stun comes across. Will get chomped up. Stays alive for now. Caps dives in for more. Has to burn a stopwatch. Will there be a re-engagement? Will it land? They find a bit of damage, but Caps stays alive. More damage across Jojo must shield, and Jojo will drop. Flacket stays up, saved by his mid laner, and they're gonna get Kaori now as well. Everyone's gonna run away or die, maybe even both. A 4-0 team fight, make it only 3. Vulcan had gotten out a little while ago. 18-2 though, looking to get their 7th straight win over EG, and it's gonna happen through the middle lane. Double inhibitor down on a Nexus turret number 1, but a poke not gonna mean much. Pushing for more, finding that stun, finding yet another kill. You have to believe Inspired stuck inside the fountain as his turrets drop and die, and he'll be left 0, 1, and 2. A CS lead, but not one for the game, as he will sit there, hope for the regen. The minions come in, the Nexus falls, and G2 gets the win.
Really well played game there by G2. To me, this was all about the team play from G2, how they work together as a squad, enabling each other to move around the